don't need a bubble like you cowards. WWE, this world is wrong to be.
What's up, guys? Our Wrestling Podcast back at you with another episode. This is Dave Vicious along with Jess, the Total Package, and Craig, the British Bulldog, bringing you our perspective on the world of professional wrestling. No inside sources, no ties to the industry, just stories from the diehards, sharing opinions to you. Today's topic, the revisionist history of SummerSlam that was not even 24 hours ago. What a spectacle. Before we start, for audio fans, give us a listen on Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, and Google Podcast, or watch our videos on YouTube at Our Wrestling Channel. On social media, can you do us a dang solid and give us a follow on Instagram or Twitter at O.W.P 2019, or on Facebook at Our Wrestling Podcast. Don't know why I paused so long right there. Jess, Craig, this was I don't want to say decent, it is a pretty gosh darn good pay-per-view that wasn't a WrestleMania, right?
I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. I didn't put any pressure because everyone, was like, oh, it's Triple H's first pay-per-view. He took the company a week ago, blah, blah, blah. And I wasn't expecting or wanting any major changes anyway. So, because I know that no matter what, they built up to this card. There wasn't a lot Triple H was going to really be able to tear down or change in the last week. So I think that all the changes going forward, probably starting with Raw on Monday, it'll probably start to look and feel a little different. And not even that much. Craig and I were talking before we hit record. This is a publicly traded company. They have to answer to shareholders. They have to answer to the network executives. So Triple H can't go full black and gold NXT. It's just not going to happen that way. He can't do it.
That saying, what we saw, though, was I was like, that's pretty risque for the shareholders.
I did. I want to say I felt a different tone, but I could have been looking too hard because we all knew that obviously this was the first show.
Everybody's been looking too hard.
So I don't know. I don't know. Like, I also told Craig, too, before we hit record, WrestleMania this year I thought was excellent. And that was Vince produced. That was Vince. So, I mean, was it better than Mania? No. I can't say. I'm not saying it's worse than Mania, but, like, it was the big show it should have been, I think. There was moments where I was like, okay, that's pay-per-view worthy. You don't see that on Raw every week or SmackDown.
They had nearly 49,000 people in attendance. And you can debate on who paid and who didn't, whatever, but it was 48 plus. That was in that arena for SummerSlam. That's not a bad get.
Not at all. Not at all.
That's a lot of people in one place to bring on a venue that is wrestling. I don't care what anybody says. People want to talk about AEW, which I know a lot of us love, and we watch it, and it's great matches. They're not drawing 48,000 anywhere. So WWE still understands their product. They understand their fans as much as we don't understand sometimes. We'll see if we can understand them more given everything that we've talked about for the last 2 weeks with Vince leaving, or maybe he's not leaving, maybe there's still control there, but on the papers he's gone, right? Everything that has anything officially to say that he's no longer there. We'll see what actually changes. Like I said, we felt like there might have been some changes. We might be overthinking it, but we'll see. 48,000 people plus. We have Michael Cole. Gosh, you guys got to get into it because I feel like I was like, is everybody going to announce tonight? We had so many people. I don't know if you want to. Michael Cole,
I really wish that they would. I really wish they would sort that shit out and change it. I'm fine with different announcers for each brand, but like for pay-per-views, they need to figure out like Michael Cole and so and so.
And it's hard. It's hard when you have one of the announcers actually wrestling. At one point. When can he come out? If he's beat up,
let me rephrase that. They should sort it out to be Pat McAfee and then whoever else they want, because Pat McAfee should be on every show.
Match number 1, I think, was worthy of an opener. If I'm not mistaken, we had Bianca Belair and Becky Lynch taking care of some business. I think this is a solid opener, and I didn't talk about the rules, and I should. I don't know if you want to grade it, but I did like this match a lot. I think they've had better matches, if that's fair to say, but there was nothing wrong with it. I didn't see a lot of botch issues. I enjoyed it. I'm glad that Bianca is continuing to carry the torch. I think it's time. My wife said yesterday there might be another time for Becky to carry that again, but she's got to be a face again. And we all know what happened at the end of the match. I'll let you guys discuss, but this gives me high grades. I enjoyed it. It was good work.
On display. Oh, shoulder first. And a beautiful standing cover. Shoulders down. Kick out from Becky Lynch, but see the pain on the face of Bianca Belair. The veteran Lynch very wisely rolling to the outside, taking a moment to compose herself.
I gave it a solid B. I thought it was a good opener. It wasn't better than their Mania match, but I mean,
yes.
What is like, you know? I mean, what are we talking about here? Like every time these two touch, it's gold. They know each other very well. They're very good in the ring. Both of them are. Bianca defends the title. I thought it was the right move, and then you turn Becky face because, like, as much as Becky has embraced this silly, abstract costume heel, and I really appreciate her for doing that because that's what's gotten Seth over, by the way, is him taking all the shit that they throw at them and him taking all the silliness and making it fun and making it work. And I think Becky was doing the same thing with that because for some odd reason, Austin was the same way. They all feel they have to turn back heel for some reason. You know, Austin famously turning heel at WrestleMania 17. Everyone's like, why would you do that? And JR said, Vince always says, we owe it to Austin. Austin wants to turn heel. I owe it to him. And it's like, even though that was the worst thing for business you could do is turn your number one babyface heel, but Austin wanted to try. And then he started doing the comedy stuff with Kurt Angle and stuff, mainly because he was injured. But I mean, like it just stuff. He tried to embrace it, and so I really appreciate what people like Seth and Becky do. However, I don't think the man character was done, and I hope she goes back to the man character.
I agree with that.
That's what I want to see her as.
Yeah, I give it a B. It's funny. My wife, who doesn't watch often, but when she does, she said, "I don't like what Becky's look and feel is right now." So it's like. My wife is one that wants her to return to the man. I props for the effort of what she was going through with the futuristic glasses, and I think this one was like an X-Men kind of inspired thing from what I read and saw. But it'll be good to get her back to the man for sure. And then I don't know if we touched on it at the end of the match. Great match. I did feel it was a little clunky in part, but these guys have had better matches. But great story,
not
great opener,
clean, right? Yeah.
Right. And then Bayley comes out at the end to a good pop, brings in kind of her new kind of little stable, and her off and running, I think, with
her
Becky
brood,
turning.
So to speak.
Yeah. So, Dakota Kai, Bo Shirai, and Bayley versus, and then.
By the way, I'm excited about that, Craig. What do you feel?
Yeah, I have missed Bayley 860 days before she's been in a ring. She makes me laugh, and she can work, and I hope she's
I think
healthy.
Bayley's ready.
Yeah. I mean, let's go.
She can speak. Match number 2, Jess. Logan Paul versus The Miz. Come on, man. It's a good match. It's a really good match. They wrestled really well. The frog splash into the announcer's table was spot on. Logan even adjusts mid-air. Can I just say that I don't like Logan Paul, and it's not for heel reasons. I don't like who he is. I don't like him as a person. Someone's gonna fry me later. I got into almost an argument with another wrestling thread that I'm in with a bunch of friends, and they didn't know why. Why is Logan so bad? I'm like, do you know how he got to where he's at? He's not a good person. He preys on people on social media. That's my opinion. Maybe people disagree with me. I don't like it.
You know what? That's wrestling, Dave. As long as you're not sitting on your hands, you can boo them, you can hate them. As long as you have a reaction, fair. And I think his entire career has been getting reaction.
Why make him the face then, Craig? Right? That's my next question. To your point, I agree with you. So why are we making this guy a face?
He's a guy that I don't want to like either, and but this was his first singles match ever. So. You're the second match on SummerSlam in front of 50,000 people.
And he didn't make a mistake, Craig.
And he's a natural.
He didn't make a mistake at all.
By God, he's going to be fantastic. But we're all going to, we have to get past that he is actually Logan Paul.
I don't like him personally. I just don't.
Totally.
I don't.
I
you know
totally
what else
get
I don't like? Jess, can you tell me how much I dislike Ciampa, backing up the Miz at all?
You love
like
it.
That.
You like it a lot. You've always told me about how.
I hate it.
I think Ciampa was born to be Miz second, and I was like, Dave, what?
You know that's funny.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Like,
yeah.
Ciampa's gonna be an animal inside of 6 months. Maybe this is the way to break him out. Maybe he turns on Miz, and we have a great time.
Yeah, of course, that's going to happen. Everything's going to be fine.
Yeah, I think that's what it's going to be. But the match itself is solid. There's a lot of grades that they're giving it into the B to B plus category. I have no disagreement with that. And
AJ Styles came out and kind of sided with Logan, so that's kind of going to be weird. AJ and Logan Paul against The Miz and Ciampa is what it is looking like.
Oh, that should be good.
just got a little more interesting.
Just got absolutely, I would say, phenomenal.
AJ Styles
That's
music.
AJ Styles music, but where the hell's AJ Styles?
There he is.
Right behind Ciampa.
Oh.
AJ Styles came from out of the WWE Universe, and AJ beating the hell out of Ciampa.
Because AJ came out there and distracted him or whatever. I know AJ came out and did something.
Did he come from the ring, like the other side, or
No.
Yeah, he jumped on
not at all.
Ciampa. He came from the crowd and jumped on Ciampa out of nowhere. Ciampa was like, by the
his music hit. His music hit, and they were all looking for him. And then
Ciampa was looking
blindsided
at the
him from
entrance. Yeah.
There's no way.
I also
no
gave
way
this
those
match
guys
a
aren't
B.
cool
You
in
know,
the back.
this match was good for different reasons why the first one was good. You know, they worked well in the first match. This one was Miz just was very careful on making sure that Logan was given the room to perform every spot that he was assigned, and he nailed it 1,000%. That frog splash from the top rope to the fucking announce table on the outside was amazing.
Do you know the best
and
thing
I know
about
some people
everything
might be like,
that-
"Why isn't it an A?" Just because it was a spot fest for Logan Paul, and I
Exactly.
think that's fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's that
There's
type of
nothing
match it
wrong with
was.
that.
Yeah.
Look in the eyes of Logan Paul.
The risk taker ready to take the biggest risk of them all.
I don't want to
Craig,
give
what
another
did
one
you,
away.
Craig, did you grade it? But I'm sorry.
Yeah, I gave it a B also, and the only thing that I think needs to be said additionally is that the Miz, like the Miz to let
Underrated as hell.
oh yeah, I mean just unselfish and to build Logan Paul, continue this storyline and walk him through his first English match, make shine like he did, just like in WrestleMania. Everything that dude has asked of him, he's done to the best of his ability. Guy that started kicked out of the lock spot. Well done. So
Anybody
but I
who
give it a B.
can't give the Miz at least credit for being one of the greatest heels in the business right now, you are stupid. And I will just say that.
Yeah, good match. Let's just keep going because I know there might be some stuff we're missing, but we'll get into the matches. Want to keep this short. The United States Championship, Bobby Lashley, who's the current champion, versus Theory on the rematch since he took it from Theory a few months back. This was no surprise. I didn't dislike the match. I thought the best thing about the match was that we didn't have to wait for Bobby to walk down. He was already there on his pedestal that they were going to do. It's like I call it the Lex Luger pedestal because I don't know how else to describe it. And he gets that spotlight and he got his fireworks. I'm like, Bobby is worthy of the fireworks. The match was good. Theory did a great job. Basically taking that full Nelson and taps him out. Very short match, but it's what it has to be because Theory's. You don't like this. Theory is on to bigger and better things than the United States Championship. I don't care what anybody says. You can all groan about it. He's going to be a champ. He's going to be a world champion, probably this year. Okay, deal with it. And I'm not even gonna be mad about it. I'm gonna be like, okay, because it's gonna build to something greater with other people over time. I'm thinking about WrestleMania stuff. I'm thinking about people that haven't wrestled for a while that I get really excited about. And the only way that makes sense is if Theory protects everyone and becomes the champion in the middle of a match by cashing in Money in the Bank, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But that's what I think. And I'll give the match a solid B-. I'm okay with that. What do you guys put it as?
Theory is literally feuding with half the roster at this moment. So
Probably all the roster.
so we'll see where his push goes and where it goes to next. But I think I'm glad that he didn't lose it. He didn't take it from Lashley. Lashley is over. The fireworks. He has the perfect theme song. The CGI graphics and stuff. It's the perfect package. I love Lashley and what he's doing right now. It was good.
Next match, we have the Judgment Day versus the Mysterios via no disqualification. Maybe because I missed a few shows, but I didn't feel like I didn't understand where's the heat here? Where's the story here? I feel like they put 2 weeks of stuff together where someone got a birthday cake pushed in their face and then all of a sudden, and what's funny? I don't even know the lady that got who got the cake pushed in their face, or she got beat up by, by Judgment Day.
That was Rey Mysterio's wife and daughter.
Okay, why wasn't she in the match?
I don't think she can wrestle. She was too busy.
I get you on that. I get you on that. But is there not a Mysterio that is a female that could have taken that smush and could have had a 3-person tag, intergender?
I mean,
I don't know. I just think they could have done a better job here.
The Judgment Day isn't really over. It's not working. This was just a vehicle to get Edge back.
That's unfortunate. It sucks. Yeah.
The match was okay. I give it a B-. Fun to see Ray and Dom. I did not care for Edge's return at all. This kind of left me flat.
I think because when he turned to the Judgment Day and then all of a sudden they abandoned it, I'm like, why? Like what? So it makes me feel weird that like he turned heel, so he turned on the fans in a sense, Edge did. And then they beat the shit out of him to kick him out, and now he's coming back. I'm like, you look weak. You turned on us, and then your own faction told you to go fuck yourself, and then now you're coming back and you want me to cheer for you? Like, and then you keep coming out to the fucking Brood music like I'm supposed to pop every time now? Like, yeah. I don't know. I don't want to turn against Edge because I like Edge, and my name is not Dave. But like, I just feel that it's
that was gonna come up.
That was really weird that what they're doing here, and I'm not really sure like where any of this is going. And I'm not saying you wouldn't get some good matches out of them. Like Craig said, I give this a C, like almost C-, only because the work ended up being really well, and Mysterio got a big pop when Edge came back and did the whole thing. The ending sequence was really good. It was a no DQ match, and they're fucking tagging in and out. There was a rest hold in a no DQ match. What are you doing? Like, why wasn't the Usos and Street Profits no DQ? Why? Like, because they've been having more of a hot feud than these guys. Like, it doesn't make any sense. They barely did anything that warranted a disqualification anyway.
Oh my God! I don't believe it!
Something wicked this way comes.
The exiled founder of the Judgment Day is back.
Let's get into the next match. We got Pat McAfee versus Happy Corbin. It's funny. A lot of people, I'm looking at stuff online. I think they graded this a little harshly. I didn't have any problem with this match other than the fact that I think Pat McAfee should have been wearing pants. There's something about a football body.
He certainly has kicker legs, doesn't he? He has kicker legs for
That's
sure.
It's not proportionate. It's weird, and I don't mean that in a bad way because who has that same body, at least from the hips down, as me. He should have been wearing pants. That's all I'm saying. But the work that was done there, Pat McAfee, once again, it's that Logan Paul, but the one I don't mind nearly as much, loves the work, and he does a good job. Even when he did the finisher, I was like, oh, he fucked that up. And then when I looked at the rip, I'm like, oh, he didn't really fuck that up. He did a good job. He carried a great match. And once again, we're not talking about Corbin nearly as much as we should. He does a great job in there. I think this is the storyline that I could latch onto. I could see it everywhere. They were both part of the Colts for a brief period. Somebody got released right away, and I think they should have breached on that a little bit harder and really got him upset. But obviously Pat McAfee had a great career with the Colts, almost a decade of work, and Pat McAfee obviously goes over to Happy Corbin, which is still telling to Corbin like this makes sense. We should make this happen. Where some people will go, well, why should he beat me? Corbin has no problem with that, and there's obviously a superplex off the top, which was very well done. I don't know how Pat McAfee is this clean, how he didn't fuck up a move, but he didn't. And someone I see C's all over the internet, but I would put this in a B category for me. Sorry, go ahead.
I give it a C+. I think it was Pat's he's a part-timer, right? So he's not in ring shape, and he blew up towards the end of this match. And yet he kind of, I think he just blew me out of the water so much at WrestleMania. Just kind of coming down to earth like a little bit. And like I said,
was it hot down there though? Was it hot down there?
Yes, very.
At the bottom of that
very.
ring?
And you could tell
they were drenched in sweat.
They were all slipping off the middle and top rope from Theory in the second match to Mysterio's, and Pat was very careful. And I thought if he's going to do any like top rope jumping, they were all slipping. And I don't know whether it might have been the humidity, or the rope.
Corbin back to his feet. McAfee leapfrog over Corbin. Oh, look, it went for the end of days. Right hand. Referee Charles Robinson knocked down.
Oh, now McAfee's going to cheat.
Corbin's knocked down. I should say Robinson's knocked down. What is Corbin going to do? McAfee landing! Payback for last night.
But I still thought this was kind of great. I thought the little Nashville choir that interrupted the entrance of Happy Corbin, which
Oh my
basically a
God,
whole
the
choir,
bum ass Corbin. That made me laugh so hard.
dumbass Corbin, and then kind of
Yeah.
that.
How is there a choir singing this?
I agree with that grade, actually. I give it a C+ too. And I think everything you said, like, he's bordering on not being a special treat anymore when they keep wheeling him out for every show. And I don't want to see him all the time. I love his commentary, and I really want him to be color, like, as much as he possibly can. However, if they want to dust him off for Manias and stuff, I think that's great. But Craig's right. If you're going to pull him out for every major pay-per-view for the most part, he's got to be in ring shape, and he's not. And you don't want that from him. Like, he's not a professional wrestler. He's not.
It will not hold up, is what you're saying, Craig.
It made me smile. I was entertained still.
Yeah, agreed.
There you go. All right, let's get to the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship, the Usos versus the Street Profits, with special guest referee Jeff Jarrett. And I told Craig, where's Ric Flair? I thought for sure we'd have something going on where they try to promote that. Maybe they try to bring him in, but it didn't happen. This was more about Jeff Jarrett and that Tennessee twang coming in to do it. Very interesting why he's even there. Other than that,
he works for the company now that Craig told me, because I didn't realize this. And about a month ago, Craig and I were talking. He's like, "No, he got hired again." I was
but
like,
still,
shit.
but it's out of nowhere, right?
Yeah,
I mean, why do it?
It was for the Tennessee thing, and it was probably to give him a little bit of like exposure, because he is fighting, or he did wrestle the night that we're recording this. He wrestled Flair in his last match. So I think why, but why have him as special guest referee if nothing came of it? He didn't play into the outcome, and nobody turned on anybody.
J-E-double-F.
So yeah. And this was a little weird. They stretched it out. I thought they were going to do a turn. So I gave this, honestly, and I'm probably being a little harsh, only because I've seen it so many goddamn times, and they're not making anything pay off at all. I gave it a C-.
There you go.
Because I wasted. Wow. It was too long. It was too long to do the same thing that they did the month before at Money in the Bank, and they faced each other in different combinations on SmackDown and Raw like a million times. So I'm just like, and then nothing happened at the end. Nothing.
Here's the thing: we've talked about this for weeks, upon almost months. You've all seen Montez Ford put on about 20 pounds, right?
He's a big boy, man.
He's getting to be a big boy. So here's the question: not just a big boy in a bad way. When's that boy going to go on his own individual run and go for?
Well, that's what everyone's clamoring about.
Monday,
that's what everybody's clamoring
tomorrow,
about,
or maybe today.
Right, true.
Yeah.
Dawkins, tag, off the lowdown, top rope for Tez. Montez Ford from the heavens, the splash. Cover and Tez. Well, Tez hurt himself here in his ribs. Now he's going to get to the cover. Hook of the leg now. Isn't enough. Kick out by Jay.
But I'm going the complete opposite direction of Jess, because I try to separate the fact that I've seen these guys so much, and the fact that it still kind of got me off my feet a little bit, even though we'd seen it, and I don't know why, because we had seen it all.
Craig, it's good work.
But this one actually, I guess they let it breathe a bit, and I wasn't 100% positive the Usos were going to take it again, but when they did, it was totally deflating. But then I was like, of course, like, why would you take it off the bloodline?
No, it's not.
But
the bloodline is it.
I liked it. I gave it.
Oh no, you're good. I put it in the B- category. I'm okay with it. The work was good, and it takes us again where we need to go. And I think if Jess and I both agree, if the breakup had happened there, we would grade it even higher. Is what I'd say, right? So I think we're waiting for the inevitable, and we thought it should have happened already on Saturday. By the way, Riddle and Seth Rollins get into a little beef because
I forgot about that.
I think
Yeah, me too.
Seth Rollins bitches on on social media that he's not in a match, so He got paid for a run-in, at least, because Triple H says, I hear you. I wonder how much of that is actually real and how much of that is we planned this all along, put something out on social media and blah, blah, blah. But, all right. Here comes the match that I'm probably the most upset about in this entire card. Liv Morgan defeats Ronda Rousey in a very controversial finish. And what I will tell you is, and I think Jess, I don't know if Jess disagrees with me. I think he might feel like this should happen, but he feels like it's not going to happen. Okay, hold on.
Let it out.
I have so many questions and concerns. Number one, why are we continuing to protect someone like Ronda Rousey, and who me and Craig both have said and agree with that she doesn't want to be here? Okay, the emotion doesn't seem to be there. The work doesn't seem to want to be there. Okay, I'm going to continue to flip this person judo style and continue to put them on arm bars. I am so sick of it. And by the way, she did it like 8 times in this match, first of all. And Liv continues to get away. And the whole storyline that we're supposed to see is that Liv is so strong. She got out of 1,000,000 arm bars from Ronda, and she pinned her while she was tapping. Which technically she tapped before the pin was complete, which means she would have lost. The ref didn't see it. It's controversial, which pushes this to the next story, the next match. Okay, cool. I don't want to see that. I want to see Liv go on to like a 6-month, 8-month, 10th month run. I want to see Ronda, honestly, disappear and go be with her kid for a while. You took time to take out to be with that kid, and then you leave that kid. That's weird. Did you take that kid on the road like other people did? I don't know. I think Becky did. I don't know. I'm being a dick right now. But what I'm saying is, like, there's people that want to be here. Liv wants to be here. And Liv finally gets this moment. And by the way, when she got this moment at Money in the Bank and she wins that title, hey, Jess, how was that pop? You were there. You were there live. How was that? Because I give this, like, a D, not because of Liv, but because of, like, I'm pissed at the story of it and how it unfolds. I don't like it.
Side. She doesn't have a Money in the Bank contract anymore. Ronda Rousey has known this match was coming, so Rousey has been preparing specifically for Liv Morgan.
Morgan trying to fight back. You don't want to get into a fisticuffs with Rousey. And Rousey now rolling through. You got Morgan on her shoulder now. Ronda Rousey could be closing in on a quick win here tonight. A couple of well-placed elbows to the jaw. Oh, and
double knees to the face. Rousey's rocked.
The code breaker by Morgan. And out Liv Morgan looking for oblivion. Ronda Rousey able to counter.
Uh-oh, right into the clutches of Rousey.
You don't like Ronda, so that's why. And you like Liv. But Liv is not going to be a champion for long, so please don't think she's going to be champion for a year, because it's not going to happen. She's not meant for that.
I think I know that.
Her character's not meant for that. Her character's not designed for that. I think this is I give this like
Is Ronda designed for that?
I don't know if Ronda's designed to be a champion. But I also think that you don't know that she's not into it. I think that that's something that you heard online, and I think that we know better than to quote crap that we hear online. We have no evidence or proof that she's not happy. We have no evidence.
Last time I checked, this was our opinions. This is my opinion. I'm sorry.
No, you read it online, but you read it online though. I don't know how you would even form that opinion that she's unhappy. How do you even have that as a factual evidence? There's nothing. People hate Ronda because she was a real fighter and she came over here and then she was handed everything. I get that. That bothered me greatly in her first run because they literally handed her everything when she walked in the door. We're professional wrestling fans.
You like her work today? I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm just asking.
No, I think that if they turn her heel like they did, which I really liked that they turned her heel. I didn't even mind the tapping before as the referee was counting, he didn't see Liv tapping because I don't want them to completely devalue Ronda. They've put so much money into her, and she brought so much presence to them. She was a celebrity, and that's Vince especially back then because Vince hired her basically. He loves that stuff, and he wants that for his product. So I can't blame her. However, the first time I felt like their answer to her or their development of her character was just to make her beat everybody. And then right before she lost it to Becky when they had the triangle match at WrestleMania, I think they let her turn heel real quick before the match. And I think because they knew she was going to go away for a while. And I think they finally threw their hands up in the air. I'm like, yeah, but your only plan when you first brought her in was to give her everything. I think that was ridiculous. And they did it based off, well, she's a real fighter, so people will believe that. Yeah,
yes.
But how are you going to get out of that is my question. So now this is the second round. This is the second round,
just-
right? She disappointed me at WrestleMania. I was like, you know what? Like, yeah, just like I thought, she's a one-trick pony.
I was disappointed here too. I mean,
Yeah, well, just like I
Okay.
thought she was a one-trick pony, and then now they're putting her in here, and I really feel much better about Triple H kind of being like the guardian or the developer of the Ronda character, because she should have absolutely been the Shayna Baszler of the main roster. That's the way they should have pushed her from the start, and they did not. So I think now he's trying to reverse that damage. I think he's going to make her heel. He's going to make her like let her get a little bit of her aggression out, because maybe she's frustrated that she's not being used right. Maybe she wants to be used different, and they're just like, no, Rhonda, we want you to smile and go out there and look like Rowdy Piper. And maybe she doesn't want to do that. I don't know that. I just feel that like this.
I do feel she's
rather
doing more
than ending
she's
Liv's
doing
reign,
more what
which
she
I
wants.
think that would have been a mistake if they took the title off Liv, and I'm glad they did not. I'm also glad that they did it like this, because Liv's character is she's fucking looks like she's gonna cry. When she was walking out of the ring, she looked like she was gonna cry. She was scared.
All of
She's
my family
scared.
said I wish she would stop crying, so I get that point.
Yeah,
Liv should
so
stop crying
that's-
and stop acting like a champion. Yeah.
That's
I'm
exactly,
with
and
you
so
on that.
that's why I'm kind of glad that in a way, like she thought to try to pin her while she was in an armbar. It shows that she was trying to find a way out of it, and they did good by her. And you could tell this was probably Shawn and Triple H's like, I want her to keep getting up after she gets armbarred. It's important that she keeps getting up and trying to shake it off, and I liked that. But that doesn't necessarily make me confident in her as a champion.
I give it a B. I like the realism of it. I actually did buy into Rhonda's like anger, and looked like she was really kind of unhappy to be in there and wanted to.
I thought she almost killed the ref,
off.
by the way, when she did the arm roll on him at the end. I thought she killed the ref.
Yeah. So I like it. Made me stand up and lean in for those 4 minutes and 30 seconds that they had this match. I think my only criticism is it cuts the legs off of Liv Morgan in the heat that she got, kind of getting the title of Money in the Bank. And point noted, Jess, that like he is that one that kind of like she's always going to get a skin of her teeth and girlhood dream kind of thing. But it's now you're a little scared that okay, her first defense she just got pinned clean, cheated to win as the face. Where do you go from here? She's got to kind of get some of that heat back, but I don't think she's gonna be long. She was on fire, and the crowd was super behind her.
Okay.
We'll see if that stays for Raw. And I think with Ronda, I think the criticism of Ronda not wanting to be there, because I think I texted that in the group text too, is
we agree. Something I saw online. It's my opinion. It's Greg's
for me, it's like I think she wasn't social media savvy back in the day and said things probably shouldn't have regarding kind of fans and how she was treated, which is a bit of an ungratefulness, which maybe poisons me a little bit on her, and that might not be her fault. Maybe she on some of that stuff. So it wasn't necessarily online. Some of her like out of character comment on the business and that kind of thing, way and how she was treated. That's where part of it shaped me. But you're right, like it's a job, and she might like she wanted to do it. She did. Went from the baddest on the planet to she's still good. I think there's something there with her. But
Okay.
Jess said before we started she looked like art, which made me laugh hard.
The prelim
For
from
makeup.
1995.
Let's get into the
Main
meat
event
and
time.
potatoes. The meat and potatoes of the undisputed WWE Championship. I still don't know which title was on the line.
Universal.
Maybe it was both.
WWE
It was
Universal.
every
just
title in the
Universal.
promotion, Dave.
That's
It's
fair.
a 24/7 belt.
Yeah, oh,
Yeah,
fuck.
it
Could
was in
you
there
imagine?
somewhere. It was in all the scraps they threw on Brock at the end. It was in there. Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar in a last man standing match, which I'm not a big fan of, but they made this work.
Oh,
Can we just give this an A?
Wikipedia
What?
says it was for both. So because it's undisputed, it was for both belts, right?
Yeah, I think they were just the same thing with the tag titles. I think they're only unifying them to further the bloodline dominance. I think the plan is to separate everything again eventually.
Got it. But if Brock theoretically would have won,
it'll-
he would have taken both belts,
Yeah, he would have won. He would have been the Universal Heavyweight Champion or whatever they
which
call
is
it.
both. Got
Which
it.
we all know wasn't going to happen. But hey,
Dave, I apologize to you. That was wrong.
no, you are fine. I think that's a perfect spot to plug that in because I had the question the entire time. I think you and I both did. We texted back and forth. Is it both titles? Which title's on the line? I don't really know. All I have to say is that this is an A+. It's It's not even a question. When this match came up for basically, I think the 4th or 5th time that they've connected, I was like, ugh, we got to see this again? What the F? And they put a match together that we never would have imagined. I don't think anybody saw the tractor the entire time, unless you were in the arena. But there was a tractor. We'll get into the tractor and how much that brought into the effect of the match. But this is an A. I totally geeked out on this match. Craig, you go and Jess wrap this bad boy up, because this match was amazing.
Yeah.
I'd never seen anything like it.
I give it an A. Blew away all expectations I had ever of it. I texted, because there was 45 minutes to go, 50 minutes to go, and I texted the group. So, okay, I guess Trips doesn't like 4-hour pay-per-views because it's going to end at 3. And boy, was I wrong. This was fantastic. Visually, you would now have those like wide shots of the ring. You might as well just throw it into Then Now Forever, like little storyboard thing, like, because it's going to be iconic, and that's going to be, you're going to see that for the next 10, 15 years. It was unlike anything I'd ever seen. You'd seen the Big Show kind of destroy the ring before, that was gimmick, that kind of sucked. You'd see Big Show kind of done it in WCW where he shook it and Scott Hall fake, but I've never seen it physically lifted that high. And
we saw Brock and Big Show superplex each other on it and collapse it.
Yeah,
I've seen that before.
Yeah,
but that
was gimmick that never quite. But it was just awesome. And
you can't gimmick a tractor, right, Craig? Lifting the ring.
That's why I asked the thing. I was like, there's a whole department for props and magic and effect.
No.
Like, how do you do it to where you keep the fans safe, keep the athlete safe, and the ring safe? What they did, just perfect.
Where the hell is he going? Oh, gee. Corey, get the hell out of there! Brock Lesnar just moved the entire ring with a guy in the tractor! I'm in Kid Rock's lap right now. God almighty, what the hell is Lesnar doing? Anything he wants. Lesnar's lifted up the ring with Roman Reigns in it with a damn tractor. Reigns falls out of the entire ring. This is one of the damnedest things I've ever seen in my life. I've never seen anything like this, ever. Brock Lesnar just lifted the ring 15 feet off the ground with a damn tractor.
How much is a WWE wrestling ring? 50,000? 75,000?
I wouldn't even know.
Maybe. Maybe. Call it 100K, right? Call it that. Who cares, right?
SummerSlam.
They've got that money to burn. And he literally churned it up on a corner to have Roman. And Roman did sell it. Did a great job selling it. But yeah, and I'm taking over. I'm sorry. But that was an incredible moment. We've had vehicles come into rings on Raw, on other pay-per-views. We have milk trucks. We have beer trucks. We have Zambonis coming in, moving the ring around. And we freaked out then. And I still think this is the most iconic situation with a vehicle coming in and literally turning a ring up almost on its backside and changing the fabric of what a vehicle could possibly do.
He moved the ring with a goddamn tractor, which was like my favorite line. and then at the end he was like, he's like, ref, can you get Brock, can you stop getting up, and ref, can you count faster? That was awesome. And
he kept saying you count faster.
I give it an A+. And then you guys are just so hypnotized by the tractor, and you missed the biggest stunt of the match. That motherfucker,
there was
Paul
a lot
Heyman.
Of stuff.
Paul Heyman got F5 through the fucking announcement.
Yeah,
I laughed so
But
hard.
Jess, there was so much going on. Oh my god, there was so much.
He was dead like a dead walrus, like laying there, and I was every time the camera would go over and show him just his lifeless blue suited body, just laying there. I was almost in tears. I was laughing so hard.
I made the joke. He looked like me when I had my extra pillow in the bed, and he's just ready to fart in his sleep.
Yeah, he's just fucking. God damn it!
That was the state he was in.
But it was such a beautiful payoff with him and Brock too, and like all the other chaos that was going on, they still had presence of mind to be like, we're gonna put Paul through this fucking table. Like, this we're gonna do. And Paul Heyman had to be like, okay, like in the back, he's like, okay, like he probably didn't want to do it.
I feel like he brought it up. I think he brought it up.
Oh my god, I laughed. This whole match was great, and him now this was dangerous because it's kind of how Big E got hurt. But him Brock all sweaty and slippery, suplexing the Usos on their heads on the outside of the ring. was
He
scary
almost
as
hurt
shit.
Uso really bad.
I mean,
you're
Brock
right.
was
I saw that
fatigued and
too.
he was sweaty and tired, and both the Usos were probably baby oiled up. And like they came down there, and like the second Uso that we needed the second one, I was like, oh, like he almost dropped him on his
Yeah,
head. Like
that
Big
was
E
the one where I thought he dropped him on his head. I'm like, he might be hurt.
I'm
But
not
he
a
wasn't.
stickler.
He
I
was
like
good.
to lose, suspend my belief and all that stuff, my disbelief in it. But when I saw that, I was like, okay, guys, like you don't need to do overhead suplexes with sweaty guys on the outside of the ring because you can kill someone. And one guy almost
Did
died.
Big E teach us nothing? I'm
Yeah.
just asking. Like, God
And
damn.
if Big E didn't have the neck of a fucking, wooden barrel, like he probably would have died.
Yeah, he could have died. Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, this match was, and just to take a second to see how much like poise Roman has, and what a star he is, and his presence is ridiculous, and the pop he gets when he walks out, and like it's just, and then people start booing because they know they got to boo him, but like he's just everything is so stoic about him. They've just hit a massive home run with him over the last.
And
2
to
years.
allow Brock
they
to have him
finally figured it
to
out.
allow Brock to have him in the tractor and just kind of release him down in the ring. Like
Into the barrel?
he could have done it at the height that he did, because I was like, I was scared. I was like, don't dump him from that high up, Roman.
Did you
Brock.
notice that Brock was nice though?
He
and
did.
dropped-
He kind of lowered it and let him roll
slightly?
out. But that trust in Brock, like, all right, tractor.
And then finally, Brock, I am done with hearing these idiots and reading these stupid comments about how Brock isn't that good and we're tired of Brock. Fuck you. Brock Lesnar
Fuck
is
you. It's
Brock
fucking
Lesnar.
stupid.
Brock Lesnar could have a 5-star wrestling match tomorrow if he wanted to, but it just so happens that this is weird. It's what you do in pro wrestling. Is he's playing a fucking character. He's playing a man beast, and he does it perfect. He doesn't need to do go behinds and takedowns and shit like that. That was the 2002, 2003 Brock. We don't need that anymore. And he's getting older, and his legs obviously aren't nearly as big as they used to be, as you could obviously
They look
tell.
bigger, by the way.
But,
Jess,
I mean, dude,
did you?
He's
feel-
older.
did you-
He's wiser. He is so good in there. I can't say enough great things about Brock and his career.
But
I
which
question
might be one of the
whether
most-
Paul Heyman was
yeah.
selling or he was near death, because I laughed again when they picked him up. Like he was just, his face was all sour, like he just sucked on a lemon, and he was like, "Ugh," and they're carrying him out, and I was like, God damn it! Like I was laughing so hard at him. God damn it.
Yeah.
Was he okay? Have we heard?
I don't know, but it doesn't matter.
If he really got
he
hurt,
gave
he
his
would've-
soul
he would've
last
heard on
night.
social media by now. Yeah, but this is, I mean, probably in the past at least 20 years, maybe 30. This is the most dominant world title run in wrestling history on a world level. Can you guys think of anything that comes close? Hogan's run for what is it? 4 years, Jess? We talked
Yeah,
about
4
that.
years.
Is the next one, right?
Yeah, and then
Like
San
this-
Martino
this-
was champion for like 9, Backlund like 6.
Before that, yeah. Before all that, so you're talking about
Yeah,
modern.
he's the
era
longest run.
wrestling.
Once the Attitude Era got rolling, I mean, you had champions for like 6 months, and that was it.
Yeah, this is an incredibly dominant run that was necessary and needed, and ultimately we're loving it as wrestling fans. Roman is making you acknowledge him, pun intended, and it's working. And then Brock rolls into it and says, "Hey, why don't we have some fun with this? I'm going to bring a tractor in, and then just let the possibilities come to light." So, just amazing. You guys
It
want
was
to
a great show overall. I loved it.
close it out? Do you feel like it was surprising? We knew SummerSlam would be good, but did you expect it to be this good?
No, I didn't expect the main event. That's for sure.
Main event was the most surprising, right?
Yeah, I
But,
think
but-
that
Greg, what do
complete.
you-
If it was a B show, that elevated it plus A. That last.
Yeah, they were great.
Which is hard to do. So, yeah, loved it. For audio fans, give us a listen on Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, and Google Podcast, or watch our videos on YouTube at Our Wrestling Channel. On social media, can you give us a follow on Instagram or Twitter at OWP 2019, or on Facebook at Our Wrestling Podcast. For Craig, Jess, and Dave, this is the O.W.P signing off. Have a good one.
Yes, to your live slave. No death of freedom, I'm father choice. Doesn't this don't need to run you cowards? Do WWE. This war is wrong to be.